Welcome to the latest episode of The Game Last Night. A fantastic, fantastic episode, if I do say so myself. I'm your host, Olivia Christian, and today I'm joined by Damon Bruce, host of 95.7 The Game's Damon Bruce Show, on a Monday through Friday from 3 to 7 p.m. here in the Bay Area. We talked a whole lot, about a hell of a lot, and I encourage you to click over to SoundCloud to listen to the extended version of this conversation. Damon and I got our grub on and our beer flight on at Thirsty Bear, which is also the nickname I give my pot belly. Thirsty Bear is located at 661 Howard Street in San Francisco.
Nice.
So let's dive in. I don't have herpes.
No herpes. We can have full sipping back and forth. I think we're going to get through this.
It's a new world.
Let's just start, shall we? Well, cheers. What are you drinking? You got the Cub?
I got the club.
I got the Panda Bear. Like Pablo Sandoval, it's full-bodied and overpaid.
I have a feeling I'm going to be a little lit after this.
It's all right.
I'm excited.
You're looking for a beer that put a little hair on your chest? Is that what you're looking for?
A little hair out of my nipples would be
let's go.
nice.
How about a little IPA? This is good. This is good. Do you like beers that smell like weed?
Kinda.
It's a beer for
This
you.
one's pretty good.
So Damon and I recorded this episode weeks ago, and it was just as the new inductees into Cooperstown, the Baseball Hall of Fame, were announced. And as you guessed, we had some opinions about it.
It's so ridiculous to me that the steroid commissioner's in the Hall of Fame, but the steroid players can't be.
Yeah.
I mean, the only reason why steroids was prolific throughout the sport of baseball is because that's where the sport of baseball wanted it.
Yeah.
There is a not so quiet whisper campaign now to demonize all these players, but they're not demonizing all these players. They're hand selecting who they demonize.
Yeah.
Like Pudge Rodriguez took steroids and lots of them. Jeff Bagwell took steroids and lots of them. If those guys are in the Hall of Fame and we're turning a blind eye to their steroid issues, why is Barry Bonds not in the Hall of Fame?
Well, why do you think it really is? Is there like a question about his attitude or his fame that like, well, Barry Bonds thinks he's something,
Look, I think
and
it's
we
a-
have
it's
the
a
power
part
to
of
tell
it.
him he's nothing?
It's a part of it. It all goes, anything that is a choice of humans making, there's so much going into that. And Barry went out of his way to belittle the people that he now needs to remember him the most.
Yeah.
And this is a clear indication of you reap what you sow. But at the same time, it really doesn't matter how disrespectful Barry Bonds was to you, how much he didn't like you, how much access he cut off or didn't grant to any particular media outlet or individual. The guy mashed.
Yeah.
He's the greatest hitter of all time. And he belongs in the Hall of Fame. It's not the Hall of Nice, it's not the Hall of Cooperative. It's the Hall of Fame. And this guy, you cannot tell the story of baseball in the 90s and in the 2000s without Barry Bonds being part of the opening paragraph.
Right.
But he's not in the Hall of Fame. I mean, baseball has so...
Baseball's really, they're all committed to this like old-timey days. This is our tradition and we want to see it this way. And do you think it's a matter of time when all those folks die?
Yeah,
Some of these traditions we look at and go like, what is the point of continuing this stuff?
We have a generational issue. We have a whole bunch of baseball writers who are from the generation of shaking your fist, get off my porch. That's who they are. And if you're, like, all I ask anyone to be is consistent. If you consistently do not vote for anyone who's ever been associated either through documented proof or even whisper with steroids, then don't vote for any of them forever, and that's who you are, and if that's how you sleep well at night. Right, but this whole like, I think he did it and I don't like him, so no way. And even though I have suspicions over here, boy, what a gentleman. So he's in? That does not make sense. Baseball and steroids were really good for each other. It made the game more entertaining and more popular. If you want to talk about the guy who didn't do the steroids, was the good Boy Scout and got screwed, look, you have my full attention. That's absolutely part of the story. But I was in those clubhouses in the 90s. And I'm telling you, the vast majority of baseball players were doing something to gain a competitive advantage because it was just about keeping up with the Joneses. And baseball did everything it could to create so much gray area around the issue.
Yeah.
They were just begging for this black market to open up, and it did. So I think that the minute that Bud Selig went into the Hall of Fame,
all bets are off. Everybody.
Exactly.
Because he was, he's getting paid from that. The whole league is prospering. The seats are being filled. We're all eating hot dogs.
You're gonna make me drink talking about this, you know?
So, in honor and recognition of you being a newlywed.
Oh my!
Newlywed.
We're gonna play the newlywed game.
So, your wife said.
So you're making Whoopi.
Favorite place. I call this game for better or for worse.
Okay.
And you get to choose between the for betters and then choose between the for worses.
Okay.
Worses, that's a word. All right, for better or for worse, number one. The Warriors take the title this year, or you get a donut, a free donut every day for a year. And I can start right now. A free donut. And before you rush.
So are you trying to tempt me? Like if I try any of this donut, the Warriors don't win?
You are too, for better.
Here's the thing, we're the flagship now. I need that title. 95-7 the game needs a ring. I think that right now as sports fans, if you're in the Bay Area, you're being handed the greatest gift of your sports life. You'll never root for a team better built, better constructed, more interesting than this one right here. With all due respect to what the Niners did in the 80s and that dynasty, we're looking at something that is at the center of the sports world right now.
Yeah.
The Warriors are the biggest brand. I mean, they are, look, the Warriors aren't bigger than the New York Yankees in the grand scheme of things, but they will be in 2017.
When you get that
You know
new
what
arena,
I mean?
yeah.
This is the biggest brand in sports.
We're in the middle of it, right? So I wonder, you've lived in other places, done radio all over. What do you think about our fan base here?
Well,
Like we've got an embarrassment of riches right now with the Warriors doing well. Oh my God, the Raiders did well.
I've said I'm out here for the gold rush of what I do. I wasn't here for the first gold rush, which was the actual gold rush, but I'm here for the gold rush of sports in the Bay Area. It's never been bigger. It's never mattered more. It's never been covered more fervently. Social media has pulled people into the conversation in ways that 30 years ago no one could have ever imagined, for good and bad reasons.
And you're active on Twitter.
I am.
Like you're out there.
I am. It's amazing to be here at this moment in time. It must have been the kind of buzz that's around sports. It feels like the same kind of buzz that must have been around Silicon Valley when they invented the microchip. Like, look what we got.
Yeah.
I think the rest of the world might be interested in this. Look what we got with the Warriors. Look what we got with the Giants.
Well, what do you think about the fan base though? Like the Bay Area at this point, especially like San Francisco, Oakland, it's a lot of folks who aren't born and raised or weren't born and raised here. They're coming from Boston and New York. They're filling up the bars with those hats and those T-shirts.
It's definitely different. You're never going to have that East Coast level of, hey, I was born here and I never traveled 50 miles outside of the hospital that I was born in. Like that's the way people on the East Coast live. California is for people with a sense of adventure, people with a sense of wanderlust. That's how they got here. And there is an awful lot to do. There is no debilitating winter which left you in front of your TV for 7 straight months.
Right.
So it's definitely a much different sports fan, but I can tell you that the intensity level that the East Coast thinks it has all to itself can be matched out here. Maybe not by the entire fan base, but by pockets of the fan base. There are insane Giants fans, Niner fans, A's fans, Warrior fans, Raider fans who are about to be just absolutely slapped in the face, I'm afraid, if they relocate.
Speaking of that, let me interrupt you here because that's one of my 4 worses.
Okay.
You got to pick between the two. I'm taking this donut with me. Score. For better, for worse, the Raiders go to Vegas, or you have to menstruate for a year. Which would be worse?
Like, is it just my monthlies, or I'm on a 365-day period?
I'll give you the monthly, because it's like, we want to be excessive.
Right.
The Raiders are in Vegas, or you're menstruating for a year.
Yeah. Bring the Tampax. Let's keep the Raiders in Oakland.
Nice.
Absolutely.
That's what I wanted to hear.
Yeah, I would gladly sacrifice all my inside bits to
You'll risk iron deficiency.
to have a fan base taken care of the right way. Raider fans have been this is on YouTube, right? Raider fans have been so fucked over by the realities of the NFL, by their own owner, by bad drafts, by bad decisions, by the cantankerous ghost of Al Davis who still haunts this team. It's a shame It's a shame that this is where it is, that Mark Davis is, here's the problem with inheritance. If you only inherit things your entire life, you don't know how to earn it yourself.
Right.
Somebody who grew up with their hand in the dirt could have figured out how to build a stadium for the Raiders by now. But when you grow up literally having everything in your life handed to you by default, $750 million that Nevada came up with is the much easier path than putting the right business people in the room to find a solution in Oakland. I think it's lazy. I think it's bad business. I think it's short-sighted. It is, hands down, a bad long-term idea, and it will forever ruin the Raider brand. I'm going to tell you right now, and this is very important. This is something the Raiders are about to find out. The Raiders actually think that the most important word in Oakland Raiders is Raiders. They're wrong. The most important word is Oakland. The 49ers thought that the most important word in San Francisco 49ers was Niners. They're dead wrong about it, and they have forever ruined their brand's relationship with this town.
Yeah.
Because of that.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody who moved to Santa Clara and still tells people that they live in San Francisco, but the Niners.
Right.
All my friends who move out of the city, they come clean eventually.
Like, well, I moved to Mountain View.
Right.
Sunnyvale, because it's close to tech. Yeah.
415 for life. I'll never move to Walnut Creek.
Because we just broke ground for Warrior Stadium.
Right.
Privately funded.
Privately financed.
What do you think about that?
That's the wave of the future. That's the way you got to do it.
Right? I don't understand why billionaire owners are allowed to even suggest that taxpayers then build them this shrine for...
They're holding cities hostage.
Yeah.
And what I think is disgusting is that, so you bought the yacht, but you can't afford the slip to park it in? I mean, come on.
Exactly.
That's ridiculous. It shouldn't, no city should have to pay for a billionaire to dock his yacht.
All right, let me give you another for better for worse. For better.
Or worse.
A Battle of the Bay World Series. A's Giants.
Oh, it'd be great.
Or
okay.
the national media will never call us San Fran or Frisco again. You got to choose between the Battle of the Bay, or it wouldn't even come to their minds to say San Fran or Frisco. It just disappears from the lexicon.
Okay, both sound really, really good to me. That's a tough choice. It really is. Again, I'll take the actual sporting event.
Oh, man.
I will take the A's Giants World Series would be huge out here. It really would.
Huge.
It's what we need around here. Because
Do we though? I mean, we win a lot. I feel like it's a little selfish. But are we allowed to be?
A's fans always feel like there's a serious...
A redheaded stepchild.
Yeah, there is an inferiority complex which permeates, I think, every resident of Oakland.
I agree.
There shouldn't be. They choose that themselves. You shouldn't measure yourself against San Francisco at all times. You can't come up against that. It'd be like having Cindy Crawford as an older sister. Just be proud of who you are. Don't worry about how pretty she is.
Do you.
Yeah. Because here's the thing. What's nice about the whole Frisco-San Fran thing, what's nice about
Wait, there's
that,
blood
though,
coming in my ear right now.
But the nice thing is, I know who you are if you say that. I know you're not from here, or if you are from here, you live an unaware life. So it's like you're volunteering to let me know
Where to put you.
that you're a just got here jagoff, and I probably don't need to take anything you say too seriously.
I like when I'm watching the Warriors play and it's like on ESPN or ABC and they show the Golden Gate Bridge.
Right.
I'm like, oh, honey, there's no one in the production office that can tell you that's not the bridge. I'm gonna give you out for worse.
Okay.
Draymond Green never learns to control the kick. Never. Or Draymond Green stars in a Tyler Perry movie as Medea, and he just takes over the series. He can't control the kick, or he learns to control it, but now he's Medea.
Okay, so if I had to cast Draymond Green in a movie,
What would it be?
he would play the human donkey in the movie Shrek. Draymond Green looks a little bit like the donkey from Shrek, I think. Just a little bit.
That smile.
Yeah, it's the smile.
It's captivating.
Yeah, great teeth. Great teeth. I don't want any changes to Draymond's game. I don't. He's a bull in a china shop. He's the heartbeat of this team. He's one of the few intimidators there are in the NBA these days. I love the way he plays. He's a throwback. What bothers me is the two big questions that idiots always ask about the Warriors are they too soft or are they dirty? If that's your question, they're neither. Because soft teams aren't dirty.
Yeah.
And dirty teams aren't soft.
Right.
The amount of bullshit people pull out of their ass to talk about this team with some sort of hot take attempt is insane. It's ridiculous. We have people who wax poetic about Charles Oakley, but they'll be like, oh, Draymond Green's dirty. He's trying to hurt people.
All of Detroit in the 90s, the bad boys.
Charles Oakley wore brass knuckles on his balls. He was not there to make friends. Draymond's great. He's great for the league. He's great for controversy. I don't want him to put himself in position to be suspended from a big game again, but,
That's the worry. That's why I'm going to control the kick, control the temper, pet a puppy before the game.
But at the same time, I want that dog off the chain.
That anger, it fuels the team. They really thrive off of that. They step it up a notch.
You want him barking and ready to reproduce, or you want him neutered and defeated in the corner laying by the... No, I want my Draymond barking.
We could not end this episode without allowing Damon the opportunity to shout out his crew, including co-host Gianna Franco and the wonderful producers that make it happen day in and day out.
So much of a radio show is the energy and the mood you're in when you sit down to start the show.
Yeah.
And the people who work on my show constantly put me in a good mood. So I owe them an awful lot. Everyone around the host either props the host up or tamps the host down.
Right.
The people that I work with prop me up better than any group of people that I've ever worked with, and I'm very, very lucky to have reached a place where I'm happy where I'm working. I love the people that I work with. I think they like it too. At least I hope they do. If they don't, fuck them. But it's gone. All of these random meetings have fit together like we planned it all. And you're very, very lucky.
Destined.
Yeah, if that's how it comes together, happenstance feels like a grand design, you're lucky.
That's a wrap on this episode on YouTube. But like I said at the top of the show, click on over to SoundCloud at the game last night and listen to our extended conversation. We talk about a lot more, including ladies in sports broadcasting. And please subscribe to this YouTube channel and like us and follow us everywhere in the world that's possible. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, stay woke.